Hi, guys. I hope all is well. So, we're back at it again. This is Get Lit Part 3. And so, last week, just to catch you up, last week we've been diving into the foundations chart and the importance of sound pronunciation, right? Because oftentimes, if scholars don't pronounce the sounds appropriately, then they're not going to pronounce the words correctly, and that will impede their meaning, so they won't be able to really make meaning of what the story is telling them. And when we get to them in terms of asking them the questions, it becomes a little blurry. And so that's why pronouncing those sounds appropriately is so important. Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. And so we're going to be talking about CVC, simply put, consonant, vowel, consonant. And that is your B, C, F. Those are your consonants. And we know the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y, right? And so when we blend those together, we now have a word. Or sometimes you can kind of mix them up and you can make nonsense words, which are awesome. And nonsense words simply are like that or drat, right? Or dap. And if scholars are able to read those nonsense words, then they can pretty much read anything, right? And so I know there's a lot of research out there where it says that, oh, all the kid has to do is look at the picture and then that'll help them to read the word. I'm telling you, that's whack and it's not the science of reading. Scholars need to be able to have a strategy to read words, the code words, because I always say that you're not going to always have a picture in a book to help you. There are tons of text and there are no pictures. And so when we start them out with these false ideas or ways of reading, it now impedes their ability to read accurately. And so, what I prefer is the tapping method, where I'm now able to see them tap and blend, right, the word in order to make meaning. And when you teach them that way, the foundational way, they're able to read and comprehend pretty much anything. And so, I'm going to start. If I give scholars a word like bat, I can say at, bat. And this part right here, I'm just isolating the sounds at. But they know as soon as I sweep my thumb across, it means that I'm asking you to blend all of those sounds, and they would know the word is bat, and they're now able to make meaning. Sometimes the tapping is a little tricky for some scholars, so I also like to give them a visual, and I'm going to show you right now. So let me share my screen. And I told you this is what educators, literacy coaches, we do this all day where we share our screens so friends can see. Okay. And so right here, this is the beginning of my slide. And it's pretty much consonant, vowel, consonant, which I was just telling you about. And I'm going to put this guy into present so you can see, and it's loading. The kids love this part. And so here's an image of a dog, right? And so they know, and these are called Elkonin boxes. And this also helps, this is another visual to help scholars segment each sound and put them in isolation and then blend them, right? So we have dog. I will push those letters in the boxes, hat, and cat. I want to show you something else. Sometimes, like I said, for some scholars, it gets a little tricky. So how I like to do it is I like to tell them that a three-letter word has three parts, right? So there's the green, the yellow, and the red. And it's almost like a traffic light. I say we're starting here, and then we're starting to speed up. But then when we see the light change, we have to stop and blend. And so I'm going to move my green. So that's k, and there you have it, cup. And so now they're able to see, and I'm going to put that in present for you guys. They're now able to see that the word cup has three sounds, three letters. I started with C, I had U, and I stopped at P, and now I blended the whole word, and now I get the word cup. And I like to push them a little bit too, where I say, okay, guys, now give it to me in a sentence. And so they would now say, okay, Miss Goodwin, I have a cup. And I'll say, okay, well, that was a good sentence, right? But how do we go from good to better? And so I'm like, give it to me third grade style. And so they're like, okay, let's go and I'll try again. I have a cup and there's some juice inside of it. And so my goal is just to get them to elaborate on their language, and eventually that will translate into written form. And so I hope this was helpful for you guys. I will be tagging those El Conan boxes in this post. And like I said, it's all about tapping out. And so I just thought about it. Some friends might say, well, what if you have a word that has more than three sounds? Not a problem. Let's try bath. B, a, bath. And so I know TH makes one sound. Remember, I showed you that from the chart? It's a diagraph. So it's two letters that come together to make one sound. So I'm using my two fingers, and that will represent that one sound from those two letters, which is TH. So let's try it again. B, a, bath. Okay? And so sometimes there are more, like monster. Let's try that one. Ah, mm, because that ER says like in her. And so now I'm going to swipe, and now you have monster. And that's something where we go into syllables, right? Monster, two syllables, one word. And so there's so many ways to play around and get lit. So I hope that this helped you guys. I'm super pumped. Next time, we will go into multisyllabic. I'm so excited to show you that. But first, we're starting with the foundation. It's layers to this. All right, guys, I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you soon. Fluent, of course.